Hello everyone, welcome to Teaching PATHSHALA. This is the seventh part of Drosophila developmental biology, in which we are going to study about the second category of zygotic genes, or you can say that the segmentation gene, which is known as our pair rule genes. If you have not seen the rest of the sixth part of Drosophila developmental biology, then I will mention the link in the description box as well as in the end of this video. There is total three groups of genes which used to play a very important role in the developmental process of Drosophila. So the first category is the maternal genes, about which we have already discussed each and everything. Second is the zygotic genes or the segmentation genes, and this zygotic genes has been divided into three subcategories. The first category is the gap genes. Again, we have completed the concept of gap genes. Second, we are going to study about the pair rule genes. There is total more than 8 pair rule genes, but although we only have to study total 8. The first is the hairy, second is the even skipped, third is runt, fourth is Fushi tarazu, fifth is odd skipped, sixth is sloppy paired, seventh is paired, and eighth, which I forgot to mention here, is the odd paired. Yes, odd paired. The eighth one is odd paired. First of all, we are going to talk about the pair rule genes. So what is pair rule gene and what is the overall action and what is the overall function of this pair rule genes? So first of all, I would like to mention the previous concept that whatever the genes which used to get activated, they are going to form or follow a sequential event. That means initially the maternal gene is going to be activated. Now the maternal gene is going to activate the gap gene, and after the activation of a gap gene, that gap gene is going to activate a pair rule genes. And one more important thing is that the actual segmentation of a Drosophila embryo is used to begin with the help of a pair rule genes. Gap genes used to set a boundary for the segmentation, but the actual segmentation is used to begin with the help of a pair rule genes. It has been mentioned here that a segmentation gene whose expression subdivide the embryo into a series of stripes and set the boundaries of a parasegments. It also regulates the subsequent expression of a segment polarity genes. So first of all, we have seen that the gap gene used to make or set a boundary for the segments, okay? But pair rule genes used to set the boundary for the parasegments. The segment used to divide into a 14 parasegment, and that we have seen in the previous video that how the 14 parasegment is used to divide depending upon the anterior and the posterior portion of a anterior side or the posterior side. So in this way, the segment boundary is going to be decided by a gap gene and the parasegment boundaries are going to be decided by the pair rule genes. So that is why we are saying that the actual segmentation is going to take place after the activation of a pair rule genes. The next point is the expression and the function of a pair rule genes reveal the first periodic patterns in a Drosophila embryo. So it is again the same thing that the initial or the first segmentation or the patterning is going to begin after the activation of a pair rule genes. Second point is differing concentration of the gap genes protein causes the transcription of a pair rule genes which divide the embryo into a periodic unit. So the activation of a gap gene protein is very necessary for the activation of a pair rule genes, and after the activation of a pair rule genes, they are going to set their function according to the different pattern of a Drosophila embryo. In the third point, it has been mentioned that just like the other genes which we have studied till now, this pair rule gene is also studied with the help of a loss of function, and that loss of function is going to affect the phenotype of a Drosophila. Fine. Next point is that the transcription of the different pair rule genes result in a stripped pattern of a 7 vertical bands perpendicular to the anterior-posterior axis. So meaning of this line we are going to see in the upcoming slides because I couldn't able to explain you without the help of a diagram. Next point is 3 genes are known to be the primary pair rule genes, and these 3 genes are the hairy, even skipped and runt, and they used to control by the gap gene proteins. The next point is the pair rule genes were identified genetically by their pattern defect in an alternate segment. So mainly these pair rule genes used to make stripes in the overall embryo, that is embryo of a Drosophila, and they have identified with the defect in that alternative segment or alternative stripes. And these are the example, that is the 8 example of a pair rule genes, that is hairy, even skipped, runt, Fushi tarazu, odd skipped, sloppy paired, paired and odd paired. One note I would like to give you here that you don't have to remember the each and every function of this 8 pair rule genes. You only have to remember the names, and I think that is totally fine. Because I think in CSIR-NET, I have only seen, and I think I'm not sure that I have seen or not, but I guess that I have seen 1 or 2 questions on either the even skipped or the Fushi tarazu. And rest of the genes I have never seen in the particular questions paper. So that is why I'm just telling you that you should have only the idea regarding the pair rule genes. Although I have not seen as such big questions regarding the pair rule genes, but you should have an idea that what are pair rule genes, because they are going to act in a sequential way. First maternal gene is acting, then the gap gene, after that pair rule genes, and the next with which we are going to discuss, that is the segment polarity gene, which is the most important topic from CSIR-NET point of view. So that genes are going to activate with the help of a pair rule genes. So somehow your concept of pair rule genes should be clear, that what they are actually. If you don't want to remember each and everything, so it's totally fine, but you should have a concept that what is pair rule genes and what they used to do, because they are following the sequential event. You can't skip any of these genes. So just remember the name of these genes and the basics, that what they are actually doing. The next most important point is that the expression of each pair rule gene in the 7 stripes divide the embryo into a 14 parasegments, with each pair rule gene being expressed in the alternative parasegments. Very important concept you should remember, that between the two stripes there is an absence of the pair rule genes. Fine, that is why we are getting our stripes in this way. The figure which is there in front of you, you can see that there is a true non-continuous brown stripes, and in the middle there is a blank stripes. So in this way there will be the segmentation of a Drosophila embryo. So in the line it has been mentioned that the one vertical band of a nuclei express a pair rule gene, then another band of the nuclei does not express it, and then another band of nuclei will going to express it again. The result is a zebra stripe pattern along the anterior posterior axis. So that is why I have explained you the whole thing into a clip form, because I think that would be better to understand you that how these stripes are made. So after the different stripes generation, it would be looking like the same as it is there in front of you. So overall Drosophila body is going to be seems like this patterning only. So the initial patterning or initial segmentation is going to be performed by a pair rule genes. It has been mentioned in this slide that the pair rule genes are defined by the effect of mutation in that gene, which causes the loss of a normal developmental pattern in an alternative segment. Why alternative segments? Because they are going to present in an alternative manner. The first category, first stripe is going to have all the pair rule genes. The second stripe is not going to have that gene. Again, the third stripe is going to show the presence of this gene. So that is why if there is a mutation in the pair rule genes, obviously there will be the developmental abnormality, but in an alternative segment, not in a continuous segment. Fine, I think this concept is now clear to you all. Now let's take an example of the even skipped and the Fushi tarazu pair rule genes, which is the most important genes from examination point of view. The concept behind the even skipped and Fushi tarazu is that we already know that there is total of a 14 para segment. So the even skipped genes, they used to present in a odd number of para segments. That means it is going to present in the para segment number 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and 13, that has been shown in a dark brown color. So its name is even skipped, so it is just skipping all the even para segments and it is going to present in a odd number of parasegments. And if we talk about the Fushi tarazu, so the Fushi tarazu is going to present in the all even number parasegments, like parasegment number 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, which is displaying in front of you in a gray color. So this concept you should remember, because this concept is very important for CSIR-NET, that even skipped is going to present in a odd number of parasegment and the Fushi tarazu is going to present in the even number of parasegments. So with this we can conclude that the even skipped and Fushi tarazu, they used to express themselves in an alternative manner, because one is expressing itself into a odd number of parasegment and another is expressing itself into a even number of parasegment. That is why we are saying that they are expressing in an alternative manner. In this way, if there is a mutation in any of these two genes, that is even skipped or Fushi tarazu, obviously the overall patterning is going to get disturbed, because they are expressed in an alternative manner. So even one of them is going to mutated, then obviously there will be the effect in the overall patterning, because the alternative patterning is going to get disturbed. So with this we have completed the topic of the pair rule genes, and now we are left with, I think, segment polarity genes and the homeotic box genes. And these two genes are very important as well as they are complicated too. So I don't know that how I'm going to justify that topic, but obviously I will try my best. And if I will not be able to explain that with the help of a slide, so obviously I will try to add a clip, because with pen and paper it is very easier to explain anything. Although it is suggestion for you all that try a different questions from developmental biology, because it's not like that I'm just explaining you and you are just watching all the videos and now it's over. No, try to solve different questions on the basis of those topics which I have already explained, because that will make you experience that how you have to deal with the different question and what are the different type of question are coming, because in every lecture, I used to take 2 to 3 questions, but I don't used to do a overall paper analysis, because that is your duty to do all that, and you have to search the different questions from the each different topic. So try to solve more and more questions, because that is the only thing which is going to make you experienced as well as confident to attend this developmental biology section. I hope this video was helpful for you, and you can share this video with your friends who actually require this kind of a conceptual videos. And if you are new to my channel, you can subscribe my channel for getting more different videos on CSIR-NET and GATE-Lifescience. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you will be notified with my each and every new video uploads at proper time. Thank you.